world tour. Just give me a second while I get everything up and going. This is more of a video on demand type deal. Oh lordy, if I could just find the buttons, if YouTube would just stop messing with everything. There it is. Oh right, now I have chat up. So, this is a new world that me and Striker have made. Mainly, what happened is I deleted the old world on accident. So me and Striker spent a good week and a half looking for new seeds, and we came across this one. If you search up Survival Island seed, you will find this seed. We had some technical difficulties for another day and a half getting this world to load up as the Survival Island. And now it's here. Now I would just like to point out real quick, it will be down in the description, and I'll put it into the chat now. All ship builds, well, most of the ship builds that are going to be shown in this world are credited to Garrett 2x4, such as the destroyer to the left, and the destroyer to the left is an example of one of its builds. Another example of a ship that is going to be shown, which is a custom ship, is the rear half of my own custom battle carrier, which one of the gates is closed. Anyway, that is my own design. There are a couple of dozen ships, I think, maybe half a dozen, that are my own design, but most of the ships on this world are credited to Garrett 2x4 with subtle modifications should they be needed to keep with historical accuracy, or just to update parts. Some of the builds, I know that one of the builds that I recently just finished, like a matter of 35-40 minutes ago, is an old design dating back from 2017, so I just updated the blocks. Anyway, get this into chat. And then I want to pin. There we go. Alright, so world tour real quick. I'll just give y'all an overview of the first base, which is my own custom base. And then we'll take more of a in-depth tour. Now I know that this says post-troll incident. We'll get to where the troll actually was. We do have a memorial up, because that honestly hurt a lot more than just me. And if the troll's watching this, go fuck yourself. Like, absolutely, I do not want anything to do with you anymore. I hope you frickin' get drafted and end up in World War III. Okay, and that's putting it nicely. But yeah, here's the overview of my base. There's a lot of infrastructure projects. It does kind of expand over that way a bit. Striker does not like this because I can get places faster than he can. It is more or less the oldest base on the entire island. It followed very closely by Striker's base, but Striker's base he also needed some help finding a good spot. And you also do have rules for those who do want to join about how you can get to bases if you're using an elytra. So here's the world map. This is pretty much the entire seed. We got, if my controller will just cooperate. This is my base down here. Striker's base is up where this second arrow is, and then he's relocating his house up to where that green arrow is. We also got a carrier strike group off of there that's yet to be mapped, and a few dozen shipwrecks. Excluding that one, we have a few natural spawns and one custom shipwreck. Technically two. There's a lot of work that's gone into this world, so seeing an attack, as I'm putting it, on this world was heart-wrenching, but all the repairs have been complete. This little black line, that is special. It is the 110th, was past the 110th anniversary of the Titanic, and that's where we will start our tour. We will work from there, we'll come back to the base, and we'll loop around and back. So I'm not gonna do a air rushing past sound or the howling wind sound. We'll get to the wreck there in a minute. We just need to go this way for a minute or two. So over here we have the RMS Titanic. This is actually the only civilian vessel that is not a dredge, barge, or a tug on the world at this moment in time. At least that's afloat. There's many different positions of where she's split in half. Most of them are right down between tunnels 2 and 3. Some of them are between 3 and 4. So I just decided to build her afloat instead of as a wreck. This is Garrett 2x4's most recent ship build, 41/5 scale, which is how we base all of our designs. In fact, a lot of our designs, excluding buildings that we can interact with, are based on this scale. I'm trying to remember if I took down that old oil rig or not. I'm pretty sure I did. Hi Dinos, I'm just giving a world tour after an incident a couple of days ago. Trying to be a better person, you know? Anyway, we got the Titanic. Over here we have a tribute to the world that I deleted accidentally. This is the Toledo Bulker. I don't know if I showed it in that world tour, but in that world I dug a canal and I put a bulk freighter in it. And since I deleted it, I decided to make a tribute by making the wreck of the ship. So, using the various pictures I had, I was able to determine length. Had her split in half, had half of her capsize, had half of her beached because reasons. And essentially this is what she looked like. If you were to imagine the underwater half, if y'all can even see it. Might help if I go here. Imagine this half being not wrecked. She was exactly at length. She's also the newest custom ship. Over here we have Lighthouse, obviously. And then we have the battle cruiser Hood. Coincidentally, we also have Bismarck and Prince Eugen. For those who do not know, the reason why I have her offset from Bismarck is a historical reference. However, I am not going to put her at accurate length because this is my world. And I have a mix of US, German, British, and I think there's a Japanese ship, yeah. The Fubaki class, I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. I have a mixture of ships. Striker has most of the Japanese ships. So he's not going to like having a British ship in his world, in his section soon. I'm going to go fix my battle carrier before that drives me crazy. And I need to find a new name because the US Navy just announced a Constellation class. Dang it. Anyway, we have Graf Zeppelin. This is the newest true aircraft carrier from Garrett 2x4. Like in the pinned comment, all these ships, well, most of them are credited to Garrett 2x4. The plane designs here are actually based off of the plane design for Prince Eugen and Enterprise. I'm pretty sure in the Enterprise tutorial that Garrett has, he does show the airplane design. So they're pretty much universal. We also have the IGN Ayanami and Z23. For those who are into anime, you should get the reference. Especially with the carrier deck of Enterprise and why Belfast is so close. Over here where I have my custom battle carrier, the UCS Orion, UCS standing for Universal Combat Ship. I could go on for hours about her specialties and why she's got dual masts for her main mast. And why she's also got that hammerhead bow, as I call it, but we need to move this along. Prince Eugen's in dry dock because that's where I wanted her. Prince Eugen is my favorite warship of all time. And I do want to go and see her eventually, so why not just put her in dry dock? Over here we have the Iowa class. I did not make any of the others. I just went with the Iowa straight. I did want to try and make New Jersey. However, we do not have enough parts in Minecraft or blocks in Minecraft to make New Jersey in our World War II configuration. We also have Arizona, Graphs Bay. Again, another anime reference with Enterprise if I haven't already mentioned her. Belfast. And then we have Warspite, which is the only dreadnought on this world so far. I am waiting for Texas. Texas got a spot too. Before we move on. Again, this base is pretty much the oldest. The first actual building was this house here. That's separate from the port. Even the warehouse on the port was built separate. Everything here was built around me having a view from that bay window onto the dock. The cranes are a universal design for mine and Striker's ports. And then if I come down here, yes, I did cheat. I have all the materials to build holes. Before the troll attack, this fence was already in place, though Striker's about to get his own. The newest building is actually that barn over here, but I'm going to attribute it to this one because I just finished designing the better version of this, which will go into construction either tonight or tomorrow. Everything is planned. And then, fun little bit of story. I actually wanted to abandon this road that we're going along now. However, it took a month of doing other projects before I came back and finished it up. Which is why there's so much bare dirt. Why the dirt just looks unnatural. I just wanted the road done. There are still some parts that are not finished on that road, but is good enough. Okay, I did rewrite the signs too. The routes on the islands are called routes, and this tunnel was called Route 1. We'll get into this tower later because there's 5 of them. Yeah, this is pretty much the base for getting more integrated with the bases and whatnot. Over here, this is a bridge that's under construction, currently on pause at the moment. But hello, purple demon. Since this construction is currently on pause due to said trolling incident, it's gonna stay where it is. I was gonna build another arch bridge. Arch bridges, for those who do not know, are a personal favorite type of bridge outside of suspension bridges. And I really do enjoy them. You can obviously see 2 of them right here. This one was the first true arch bridge that I actually put effort into. It was a pain in my behind, if you get what I mean. Over here we're going to be working on a... Striker wants it to be a whole underground military complex. I'm just saying a underground hideout type deal. No nuclear warheads, sorry Striker. My favorite bridge, this actually took me a good day and a half to build. And then proof of concepts on a separate world where I build all the infrastructure and whatnot. And then for anyone who's into drifting, if you could drift cars on this road, how fun would this be? And this whole section here, if you remember that road with the tunnel, this is that road. And then we have more ships, Striker's base. We'll get to that in a bit. This bridge here is a tribute to Striker's old survival world before he rage quit, killing the Ender Dragon. I wanted this bridge even though he didn't. He wanted a suspension type bridge, but I built it, so he has to suck it up. Over here we also have a snow shed because mountains. That's unfortunate. Hopefully you can find someone though. This whole road though, it took a good week and a half to get done. We'll get up there in a minute. This bridge had unfortunate timing being built, which is why there's a sign here. This is during the tornado outbreak of, I think, this was a month ago now, almost a month ago. I watched that entire storm system live, and this bridge just had unfortunate timing. The arch is obviously lower. I would go and put more effort into it, but I was watching the radar at the time. I did go ahead and finish it up. I did add these roads. While we're here, since this is the only structure, I have some water towers using a survival trick, which for those of y'all who are survival advice, if you build these water towers even without the iron bar, if let's say you were to have a pool of lava, once the wood catches fire, after enough time the water supply will just dump all of it out. I put these here to act as to be more realistic and be more of an anti-fire type deal, even though it's very unlikely. This collection of roads here is also a unclaimed base. We have no plans for it right now. I'm just working on infrastructure. We'll get to the dredge over there in a bit. A bit of a day of boring led to this whole extension here with the beat up road. To kind of give some history to the island, there used to be a bridge that used to go over there. Then a volcanic island, well, eruption, which is how the river ended up blocked up. Caused a lot of damage and the ground caved away, so this is more of a caldera, and the bridge went with it. This great big huge mess here is me fighting with the mountain and winning. We have a observatory which I built. If anyone wants to pick on Striker for anything, he thought that this was a ray gun or a missile silo until I told him what it is. Not very well detailed, but I hardly even come up here as it is. Striker's the one who comes up here more often. We have a Soviet-inspired blockhouse. This was built during the opening weeks of the special operation. And then we have a training facility, which is actually a Striker build that I got annoyed with how basic it looked, so I modified. Then we have some older infrastructure to give some history, and then another tunnel. Pretty much all the same back up to the base up there. And then over here we do have a kind of a joke between me and Striker with the ever forward grounding. With the dredge just digging endlessly. This was fun to build because I haven't made that many variants of the port crane. And also I haven't built a tug in a long time, so very fun. Any unknown shipwrecks? No. There should only be 3. And then we just need to book it on over to Striker's base. Striker's base was affected by the troll. Again, if the troll is watching, you need to go get a life. Just so that I'm clear, the username will be in the comments. You'll have to click read more because I'm trying to be the better person, I'm not trying to call anyone out. But if you do watch this later on, it'll be the pinned comment down in the description. More of the same with the crane. We got the World War II Kaga. And then the Tago. Forget which destroyer this is. A whole bunch of gold here for Striker because he helped me remove a ocean monument so that I could get my ship collection as big as it is. And then Striker wanted a Japanese style inline suspension bridge. And then this is where Striker's house used to be. The redstone torch is lining where the foundation used to be, and my attempt at a sakura tree. I'm not good with making organic looking builds. If anyone has played Ace Combat, you should know exactly what that is. We also do have Yamato Plant and another ship unnamed at this time. This was a minor troll between me and Striker that backfired. And we just made it better by making it a cinder cone. Glad it backfired though, it is really interesting. And then if we come down through here, that whole building actually starts right here. Ace Combat style gate system. And this is an undersea tunnel. Imagine all this lined with TNT. We were working for at least a week so far on this build. We had to wing the tunnel, so the tunnel is a bit too far over. But this is what the space elevator looks like on the inside. We're trying to go for a copper and quartz type deal, and then it's hollow all the way up the windbreak. And this took me a good day and a half total. New additions based off of Ace Combat. I happened to actually fly by one of these during the forget which mission it is. It's one of the 3. The last mission in Ace Combat where you're fighting the 2 drones. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it. I flew by one of these and I took note of it. So I added these, and then most of everything from here up was destroyed. Okay, that's a glitch. So everything here is all rebuilt. Again, if the troll's watching, you haven't stopped us. We just had to put a pause on things. I did grade this little bit of island here. Fast Striker could build another house. We have 2 of 3 tugs. And then we have the USS The Solomons, which, if anyone doesn't know, is currently taking on water in the Buffalo, New York area. I do plan on building another Fletcher class. However, where that particular ship is going to be, I have no idea. And then here's the first of 3 natural spawn shipwrecks. I had to outline this one because we're building here, so we had to outline it. And then this one is actually an accidental notice. Striker, we're going to have to get rid of that one if you ever see this. But here's the second shipwreck I was alluding to. I don't know if there's any more. Hopefully not. And then over this way, as a result of the troll attack, we do have a carrier group which is still under construction. I'm still trying to find ships. And there's the 3rd shipwreck. When this thing loads, come on, Minecraft. You're doing good so far. Well, apparently this is solid ground. There we are. This is the USS Midway. And just for reference of how long this took to build, outside of double checking everything and making sure that everything looked right against Garrett's video, this took me 5 hours to build. And that is with the tutorial and whatnot. And Garrett, if you do see this in the future, you have a gift for building these ships. Anyway, following the design, if you remember how I pointed out, Prince Eugen has a seaplane. This is the same style. Just imagine these as FA-18s, FA-14s. The dog. Dog needs to learn to shut up. But yeah, this was a fun build. We also have a guided missile destroyer. This is the modern Atago. And then we have the Zimwalt. This is the ship that I literally just finished a half hour, 45 minutes before starting the stream. And it needs a redesign. There's going to be another 2 ships, and then I'm going to break the rules of no submarines, and I'm going to add some submarines. And another portal. Don't get me wrong, I love the underwater update. But if this could go away, if that could go away, that'd be great. And then we have the 3rd tug over here. And then essentially, I think we are back at my world. Yet, with all the chunks missing as usual. And if y'all do want a bit of a spoiler of how long it takes to build a project beforehand, if I go this way far enough, there's an island that I tried to level to build the space elevator on. Yeah, here it is. And it just proved to be not worth it, especially with an undersea tunnel. Plus, my base didn't have enough space to support it. So we just decided to put up near Striker's base. If anyone has an idea for names that do still keep with the astrophysics type side of things, or I think it's astrophysics, astronomy. If you can think of a name that is still with that deals with astronomy, this ship needs a new class. That way I'm not confusing it with the U.S. Navy's new class of destroyers. Again, pardon the dog. The dog needs to shut up. And another bit of a historical reference with this ship too. If you dig hard enough, you'll find that there are plans to convert the Iowas to be battle carriers, and that's how the deck was made. Anyway, with that being done, I know this ain't a thorough world tour, but with that being said, I'm gonna get back to work on getting this world to where it should have been before we had to take an entire day and a half on projects and not working on those. If anyone wants to join, put it down in the comments. Again, this is my personal world, so trolling's not allowed. You're more than welcome to build. There are 2 unclaimed bases, and then you can go on to the continents if we get enough people. I know Striker's gonna yell at me afterwards, but Striker, you still hold by the old rules. Yeah, thanks for coming, y'all. If I can hit the right button.